What do you think about this? Right now, state law requires the comptroller's office to pay elected officials their pension even if they don't want it.
So why does this law exist and how much is it costing you, the taxpayer? Chris Ravaditz takes a closer look in our New York State Exposed report. Chris?
Hey Janet, Sheriff Eugene Conway of Onondaga County, that's Syracuse, promised if he was elected he would stop receiving his pension, but the state said no. We dug to find out why.
It seems absurd that if somebody wants to decline their pension for the interest of public good, that they shouldn't be able to do that.
That was Jeff Deb's reaction when we told him about Onondaga County Sheriff Eugene Conway. The New York State Comptroller's office tells us state law requires Sheriff Conway to receive his pension, even though he requested the payment stop to keep a campaign promise. Now the sheriff is receiving his $2,500 a month pension payments on top of his sheriff's salary. Why would the state require him to get paid twice? Senator Rob Ortt sits on the New York State Senate's Civil Service and Pensions Committee.
Why is that provision in the law?
Well, this has been ruled on, to my understanding, by the courts. There's actually been court cases. Constitutionally and in courts of law, they've ruled that the comptroller's office has to disperse those checks.
Why would the law prescribe?
I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know.
Could the law be changed?
Again, that's a major, it could even require a constitutional change. I certainly understand the focus on double dipping. To me, always addressed by the constituents of that elected official. It doesn't require a state, a change that would affect hundreds, thousands of employees potentially for one individual.
Senator Ortt says he hasn't received one call from constituents about this. He also says Sheriff Conway could just donate the money if he doesn't want it, so he doesn't feel an urge to change the law. State Assemblyman Mark Johns has a different view.
And we ask you because you sit on that committee in the Assembly. Right. Should it be looked at now?
I believe, yes, it should be looked at, but I believe a lot of bills should be looked at. The reality is, yeah, I think most people would be for it. But once again, you're up against the fact that it's very hard to bring a bill to the floor.
This comes at a time when the state legislature is considering a bill that would lead to pension forfeiture for convicted public officials, like disgraced former Speaker of the Assembly Sheldon Silver and former State Senate Majority Leader Dean Skelos. If passed by both chambers, the public would get to vote on it.
This whole idea of pensions, I mean, why is this such a problem in Albany? I mean, why can't we just get things right?
Well, number one, pension forfeiture for corrupt politicians should have been passed already.
Debs agrees. He says the entire state pension system needs a shakeup.
I think it does. I think it could, there's always room for improvement.
Senator Ortt and Assemblyman Johns agree that public officials who have been convicted of crimes should not get their pensions. They are pushing for that, and you can reach out to Senator Ortt by calling 716-434-0680, and you can call Assemblyman Johns at 585-223-9130. Scott and Janet.
Chris, did the sheriff have anything to say about our story?
Well, we did reach out to him. He declined our request for an interview, but he did write this in a letter to the editor of the Syracuse Post-Standard, quote, "I followed through on my pledge to suspend my pension. It was acknowledged and it was suspended. To claim I broke a promise is misleading, unfair, and incorrect." There he's responding to those who claim that he broke a campaign promise.
Very interesting. Chris Ravaditz reporting live. Thank you.